Hey you guys, thanks for joining me for a tea time with Chelten. This is my second video of Saturday, so this is 4:30ish p.m., which is very different from my normal 4:30 in the morning videos. So please enjoy. I'm sorry that this has been kind of late. We missed Friday and Saturdays due to things that we couldn't kind of help in the families, but hopefully starting Monday, it will be right back on schedule for Tea Time with Chelten. Well, okay, so this Tea Time with Chelten, this is going to be about, I would say, my most favorite location that gets the most activity that I have ever seen in my life. Sets the bar for everything. And that is the Bone House in South Toledo, Ohio. The Bone House. Okay, here we go. The Bone House was built in the 1800s. Before a house was there, it was a stable area for the horses and carriages of a funeral location. So, this area is very old. This area has a lot of history. This area has also one confirmed death for when it happened to become a home. And we traced this family back from the last time they owned it to the first time they owned it. And it seems to have been all in the family somehow that has always owned it. And we also figured out they had, how do I put it? Different beliefs than traditionally people do or consider acceptable these days. So, how did we get to know about the Bone House? Well, let's go back to that. In 2017, the Bone House came on the radar on a news station. I believe it was channel 24 or 13. So, I didn't see this news breaking release thing about bones being found in this home. I did not see that. I did get contacted by somebody that said, I have a friend that some really crazy stuff is going on in a house they are renovating, and they're desperate for your help. And I said, what's going on? She told me that they started renovating this place, and as soon as they started pulling up boards in the walls and the floors, bones were coming up. And I just kind of shrugged it off as, that's normal. The raccoons can get in, squirrels can get in, especially since it had been abandoned for as long as it was. I really was not concerned about this. But what struck me as odd was when I spoke to the owner, he seemed convinced that he was getting photos of weird things. Now, he did send me pictures, and I will say the photos were odd. But at the same time, he only had like one photo of that position at a time. I take my photos in threes so I can compare each frame and see if there are any changes. And I could only go by the one photo. So I thought it was strange, but I didn't know. Now, later on that night, I had some really strange dreams about this home. Really, really strange dreams. And when I woke up, I called Tillman and I said, we're going to investigate this place. I have a feeling. Just go with me on it. And Tillman was just not impressed at all. And he's like, we don't do residentials. What are you doing, Chelten? And I said, no, I'm telling you. I mean, my dreams are never wrong. And my feeling is never wrong about locations. Let's get in and see what we can find. So Tillman had agreed to do a walkthrough and look at it in the hopes to debunk everything, to make the owners feel finally at peace and relaxed with this location. Now, I had warned him and the entire team that immediately from my dream, I had believed this place to have had rituals done. So when we arrived to this place, first off, there was a news crew there, which we weren't expecting, so we kind of stepped out right into it. But as soon as my foot hit the lawn, I immediately knew that we were dealing with Santeria. And I stopped and I looked at the owners and I looked at Tillman and I said, "This is Santeria." And Tillman kind of took me aside and said, just walk through before you start wondering and your imagination's going on. Typical Tillman. Check it out first before you start saying things like that. I said, okay. So we go through, and the entire time I'm like, yeah, this is Santeria. This is most certainly Santeria. Well, he did not believe so, but I had scheduled the investigation that following weekend, which was like in 2 or 3 days. And even though he was kind of like, I don't like this, we don't do residents, I got him to agree to come on, just humor me. So we get there and we're doing an investigation and everybody's complaining about nothing's happening. They feel nothing's going on. But I felt things the entire night and I heard things the entire night. So I told him, I said, okay, leave me in the house alone. You guys go out. So I sat in there for a while on the first floor and I felt a lot of energy, a lot of stuff going on. And then I went to the attic and I felt a lot of stuff going on there, at which point Tillman sent in camera people to follow me. Everybody kept complaining that there was nothing there, so I had decided to amp up the energy a bit and pretty much call it out and, I guess you could say in a way, anger the negative entity that I was sensing. So as I started doing that, I was on Facebook Live at the time, and the cameras are on me. And the more I'm calling it out, and the more I'm upsetting it, the more on audio it's screaming at me. And people on Facebook Live even said that they had heard it. So it wasn't just our digital recorders and our video camera picking it up. Well, even though I had felt a lot of stuff and I had heard a lot of stuff, the rest of the team was not convinced. So they closed up shop. Well, about a month later, the owners contacted me again and had said stuff was still going on there. So I told Tillman, we're going back. He was not happy at all, guys. He was super angry at me. And I said, I don't know what to tell you. We're going back. We're not just going to leave them to be scared of this thing. I mean, the owners wouldn't even go on property. They wouldn't even mow the lawn. They didn't want anything to do with it at this point. They were scared. Understandably. They had sensed what I had sensed inside there. So, second investigation, we go there, and Tillman stays in the RV the entire time, pouting, guys. I mean, full-blown schoolgirl, kindergarten pout while he's eating Cheetos. Ask him. It's true. So, I'm inside with the team, and I keep telling people that I'm feeling things and I'm hearing things, and it's all around me, and I'm really baffled that nobody else is sensing it, nobody else is hearing it. And then we decided to make our way out of the attic and go back into the RV. And that's when it happened. This board that was nailed into this area, I had sensed an energy, and I turned my head to look in the direction that it was coming while I was speaking about the negative entity that was talking was saying very interesting things to me. So I turned my head to look at it, and right at that time, on audio, on video, you can hear nails being kind of like nails are inside a board. So here's the board and the nails are going through. And you can hear it kind of getting ripped out of the wall where it was just kind of, I think in two nails were just kind of nailed into it. And you can hear it going noise as it's being yanked out of the wall. And then you hear wham! And then everybody jumps and screams. So this board that was nailed into this, it was kind of like this. Here's the wall. Here's this. Well, not I'm sorry, not a wall. There is a wall, and then there's these like beam things. So this ledge wall that it was nailed into. And on video camera, you can actually see the board hit so hard and may connect so hard that wood splinters shot up off of this board. And everybody screamed, and I asked it if it's going to be throwing things at us and stuff, that wouldn't be tolerated. You can speak to us, you can touch us, you can do a lot of things, but if you throw things at us, that is not going to be tolerated. And I told it to pretty much behave. And at that point, it threw something again. And I said, everybody get out of here. And I sent everybody out of the house. And I stayed up there. And this entity and I had a discussion together. A heated discussion. But it was interesting. And once the team came back in, after I gave the all clear, come back up, we tried to debunk that board coming out. We looked through these videos and photos and trying to figure out exactly where the board was. We put it back, kind of tried to put the nails back in the wooden ledge wall thingy. And ran around it, stomped around it, jumped around it, tried to make as much vibration and noise and stuff as we possibly could, and we couldn't get that thing to fall again. Now, the interesting part also about when it fell, just before it fell, you hear a Class A EVP of what sounds like a child speaking in Spanish. So it's pretty interesting. So this location just doesn't just have poltergeist type of activity and things answering on EVP. And I'm talking back and front pages and pages and pages and pages of digital recording voices and EVPs that we get. It has everything. It has shadow people walking around that you can actually see. It has... I'm in love with this location. It may have some dangerous entities in there, but I love this place. I get so much activity. It blows my mind. I don't think a prison can compare to this place. I don't think an asylum can compare to this place. This activity, it's incredible. It's incredible. If the owners ever do another public ghost hunt there, do it. I'm serious. We've taken 6 to 8 groups with us so that they have a chance to experience this place and see what kind of stuff they get, and they are blown away at the stuff they get as well. So, you want to get some crazy evidence? You want to get a little bit of a fright? Yeah, do the Bone House. I love it. I know that sounds stupid, but I love it. I mean, that's what we dream for, right? As paranormal investigators, that's what we live for. Is getting that evidence, getting that connection with something that it immediately responds to you once you go into this location. That's the Bone House. Honest to God, that's the Bone House. And this place is cool. About in every single floorboard, every single wall, there are bones. And I'm talking large bones that are found. And they're cut with some type of saw or something. And you can find bones with human faces carved into it and then painted. You can find bones that are wrapped in clothing and weird things like antique brushes and stuff with it. It's just crazy the amount of bones that you're going to find in this location. And most of these bones so far seem to be goat, chicken, and canine. So, who knows of what other type of bones we may end up finding there. It could get interesting. So, okay, thank you for my part 1 of the Bone House. And look for some more. We had many experiences, and this is just part of our first and second investigation. So, thank you so much for joining me for Tea Time with Chelten. I hope you have a magnificent day, and we love you so much. Thank you to our phantoms for always following us. And happy hauntings. Like our Facebook page at Haunted Toledo and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye, guys.